second business, I did 3 major things differently, and the results, I'm telling you, were wildly different. For years, I thought I was building a successful business. Now, the business I had, it made money, I was making a good living, I was traveling the world. From the outside, everything looked fine, and even at the time, I couldn't articulate the problem. I just knew deep down that something wasn't working the way that I knew it could. What took me years to realize was that building a business and making money are 2 very different things. Now, I had made money, but I didn't build a real business, which is why I was feeling so stuck. So if you know you need to do it differently, let me explain how. I'm Amanda Olusanya, and I work inside businesses that are in messy transition phase, and I help diagnose the issue of where it's stuck. And I will tell you, the most common pattern that I see is revenue is going up, but the profit isn't. And it is frustrating, of course, because you're like, well, if my revenue is going up, why aren't I making more money? And the math isn't mathing. But when I see this, it usually has very little to do with revenue. It has to do with how the business is operating. So we need to find the structural issues and what to fix. Now, the first thing that I look at is whether the owner is still working in the business, because if everything runs through the owner, then this is the current constraint. Now, it might feel productive, but what it actually does is it creates a ceiling for the business. The owner is spending too much time on things that could be hired out, and they don't have enough time or ignore the things that can't be hired out. And this is things like strategy and growth, direction, processes. In short, this is not scalable. Now, the second thing I look at is behavior. I use the finances to see what the behavior is focused on, because numbers will tell you a story to the behavior. They're not just a report, they're a reflection of decision making, what's being avoided or what's being rewarded inside of the business. So what to do about it? So let me tell you what I did differently. I ran one business for 10 years, and again, it did okay. I made a good life and good living, right? But it was still a lifestyle business, and it was always a bit aimless, if I'm being honest. Then I decided to do it differently. So with my second business, I did 3 major things differently, and the results, I'm telling you, were wildly different. Number 1, I focused on the vision. I stopped being the operator in the business, and I stayed high level, focusing on the direction and the foundations. Number 2, I developed a leadership team, and I spent the majority of my time with them. I did not get involved in the day-to-day anymore, only when it was necessary. We had regular leadership meetings. I was very protective of these meetings. We were highly focused on these meetings, and we focused on decision making using the vision as our compass. Number 3, I focused on weekly key metrics, and they were all drivers to the overall vision. Now, those 3 things were the reason I turned my business around so quickly. Now, I know it sounds simple, and it is, but simple is not easy. It's a simple concept, but let me tell you what usually happens when I'm working with owners. Number 1, they think they're clear on their vision, but they're not. They confuse vision with goals, and even if they think they're clear, they might not be delivering it to the staff or the clients, right? They might get pulled in all kinds of directions very easily. They start taking opinions of people who have no clue at all, and they stop trusting themselves when difficult decisions have to be made. Number 2, they get caught in the operations. They don't understand how to develop people, and they think, I've told them a million times, is training. They don't lead from the front, they manage from behind. They react to issues that come up, and they throw away the vision with any bump along the way or any distraction. So number 3, usually people associate numbers with bookkeepers and accountants and only look at the past numbers. They either let the key metrics slip before they see the whole picture and understand that they're looking for patterns and give up too easily before those patterns emerge. Or they start tracking tons of numbers that don't really matter to the overall vision, and they continue to gather data as an avoidance tool. And I've heard a lot, if I just have more data, then I'll make a decision. This is a signal for a lack of decision making. Now, these are all skill sets that you must develop. Even if you have early success, eventually you're going to have to reorganize, you're going to have to reprioritize and restabilize. A real life example of implementing this. So I just had a client tell me the other day how he's having fun in business again. And this obviously warmed my heart because this is why I do what I do. So he started giving his staff more expectations, and he was surprised that they actually reacted with appreciation. What he now understands is that his employees want to know how to do better, what specifically they need to learn and what they need to work on moving forward. Because this is satisfying for humans, right? Not just you did a good job or a bad job. After that, he stopped avoiding his finances because they weren't looking good, so he's kind of ignoring them. I told him, let's get rid of all the noise, only focus on what matters, which was his profit at the time. He found the leaks through the margins, and within 3 months, he's already out of his overdraft from the bank. Now the real fun begins. Now we get to look at what to do with the money rather than how to just survive. So if you know this all to be true and you want to figure out where to start, let's just bring this back. Focus on the vision, right? Visions, they are imaginative. It's a feeling where you're going. It's an understanding of a larger picture. Create this first. Then reverse engineer it to create goals to move towards that vision. Then we'll develop the leadership team. You can't do this alone and you need support. So learn how to train and work and develop people. If you can't afford to hire executive talent, you're gonna have to nurture talent. And this is a skill set that's invaluable to business. Set up regular meetings with your team and stay focused and stay productive. Remember, you are the leader, so it is your job to change the habits here. And then just track 5 numbers, key metrics every single week that are driving you towards your vision. Now, a really good practice for this is to start stepping away from your business 1 week at a time, 2 weeks at a time, 30 days at a time, and pay attention to what breaks first. Because this is your systems gap, and this is when you go back to the high level and fix the most important thing, one thing at a time. If your revenue is growing but your profit isn't, this is a behavior problem. And if your team can't tell you clearly what matters the most this week or the next 90 days, then you don't have a clarity problem, you have a communications problem. If you're having your revenue in your business and it's going up, but you're still feeling stuck, this is a structural problem, right? So we want to make sure that we design our business to where we want to go. The good news is all of this is fixable. Like everything's fixable. Welcome to being an entrepreneur. Remember, business is both art and science. Some things are proven and the rest is intuition. If you need more help, my website for the next steps is listed below.